So I've had this tonneau cover for about a year. Works pretty good. It's by Yamamoto, and it gets the job done. It keeps everything from getting wet inside. I do a lot of traveling with my truck, so I like to put the luggage in here and just keep everything from getting messed up. It's been good, but the issue with these type of tonneau covers, and this is the tri-folding one, is that when you fold it up, you lose about this much. I think the bar is somewhere around here. You lose about a third of your bed. And like if you got to put something big like a washer, dryer, some type of equipment in there, it can get cumbersome. And then what you got to do is you got to take it out and just kind of slide it and just find a place to keep this thing while you're traveling with it. I've run into that a couple of times. So this was sent to me by Yamamoto, and they sent me a roll-up one, which we're gonna try out and see if that works better for the type of work that I use my truck for. So let's get this thing opened, get this thing out, and I'll kind of show you how it goes. Now, like I said, the quality of this thing hasn't been bad, but there is one thing about this tonneau cover that I really hated. Now, I had another truck. It was a 2007 Ram, a Dodge Ram. This one's a Ram because it's 2015, the whole name change. Let's see if we can get it. And the biggest gripe I have about this is these clips. The old one I had from a different company, they would snap in place, and this doesn't. And this just kind of dangles around, and it gets really cumbersome, especially when you flip it over, and I've had it kind of poke on this. So, nitpick, but, annoying. And as you can see, like the other one just popped down, and now I got to go back to the other side, get this one squared away. And then I'm good to go. And like I said, you lose this much space, and sometimes that's the difference between somebody throwing something good outside of the road and you got to pick it up. But yeah, it gets annoying. So let's get this thing off, and let's take a look at what I'm gonna put in. All right, so before I get this new one, we kind of show it off, got to clean the bed of the truck. Got some grime and dirt in there. We need to kind of get that thing squared off. Just gonna be using the Propel Power and just hose it. I mean, it ain't too terrible in here, but all right, that's a lot better. I mean, I'm not going for a super cleaning on it, but I want to just get that grime off. And as far as this drying before putting that stuff on, it doesn't matter, but considering it's 100 degrees, I'm pretty sure it'll be dried up before we're done. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the new cover. All right, let's get this thing open. Package like this, and let's get it laid out. All right, took everything out of the box, took out all the packaging. Package pretty decent on it. Got the instructions over here. It's kind of hilarious. It says, "Shrick the seal strip onto the bulkhead." I'm not sure what shricking is, but we're gonna assume that it means to stick on it. Going through the instructions, they're not bad, but they're not as good as they could be. So maybe things get lost in translation. So I think the first thing we need to do is probably pop on these rails, just kind of mock them in. At least that's what the pictures say. And then see how it mounts from there. So for the assembly, I'm put in these bed rail caps first over here. Don't do the mistake that I did and unroll this. It's rolled up for a reason, but the instructions were pretty great on it. We're gonna put it this way. If you notice, you have these caps right over here. These are gonna go towards the rear. And then you have these channels right over here, which is going to slide into this part right over here. Has a screw, so once we slide it in, we could put the screw. They do give you the tools for it, and we could go ahead and just lock it in place. You don't have to worry about any gasket for the back part over here, because as you can see, it has it. So once we set it in place, that should be fine. So we're gonna mount these in, screw it, and hopefully get this position. Just get it in loosely, and then we can just adjust as we need. Just get it semi-tight just to kind of hold it in place a little bit. All right, so I got those loosely mounted in place, and the good thing about this one, and I get this in the camera over here, it's a lot easier to mount it because this is gonna mount flush over here. So I took a rough measurement, and it's roughly 3 inches on this side, 3 inches on this side, so I got it centered. And then because the bed of the truck, it has like a little angle that goes towards the window, match it up over here, and I got about an inch over here, so I know it is centered. So now what we need to do next is take these clamps and clamp this down. It does have some type of recommendation depending on footage feet. So it's 2 clamps for each rail. 1, 2. I'll probably just get 1, 2, 1, 2. I'll just do 3 just to have it extra secure. Probably just put 1 in the back, 1 in the front, and 1 in the middle, and just space them out accordingly. So mounting this is pretty simple. As you can see, you got a little hook there, and in the channels is a groove that bites it on. So it's actually pretty nice. I will say the installation of this is a lot more easier, and then as we tighten it up, it'll just bite down on it. So we'll slide one to the front, and that should mount out, and then we'll do the other ones. So now they come with these pieces over here, and I guess it's to kind of keep it from wearing out the metal. They just kind of go in, just like so. I just put one in the bottom, and then it just folds up like that. And then I'll move the clamp, just like so, and just tighten it. Don't want to go too crazy. I mean, this bottom piece right over here is plastic, so it could break. Also don't want to strip it, but you know, just snug and just be reasonable. You ain't gonna get no torque spec out of this one, so let's snug this one up. Got 3 on the other side, 3 on this side. Mrs. is doing the other side, and I think we should be right about done with this. So we've unclipped it, and I guess we're just gonna feed it little by little. Oh boy. Okay. I'm doing this one-handed, but you know. Now, one thing to note while pulling it down is this rail over here needs to be in the channel, and then we can kind of just do it like that. Leave it a little loose. And then you see the notch right over here. That's going to go into this notch right over there. So with it being loose, it's going to pull itself. Look at that. Nice. I will say definitely pretty nice. So kind of had to take it apart. Was looking down over here, and I was able to see light, small gap, so kind of just slid it forward. This thing is really easy to work with, and I forgot to put this gasket that it comes with. I mean, go figure, right? No such thing as extra parts. So I'm going to slide it across from this bed rail mark over here to that one over there. That'll give the gasket, it'll squish it down, and that'll keep water from getting down in the bed. So let's get that mounted up. All right, so that looks a lot better, and we actually had to move it up just a little bit. So yeah, looks pretty good. Actually, no, it's flush with this, but we were a little too far back towards the rear of the truck. And as you can see, no lighting, well, beside the reflection of the sun, but I don't have those lights kind of gleaming in, so it means water won't get in. Now let's lift up the tailgate. It looks really good. So when it pulls out, it really smooths this thing out. It's sealed. And one thing I will say about this, I'm very impressed with this quality compared to the tri-cover tonneau cover. And that one just lays on. It was very flimsy and loose. The clamps weren't as good, but this one bites on really good. The gasket on this is pretty thick, probably maybe about quarter, half an inch. The Velcro, pretty tight on it. It seals really nice on it. And it doesn't have the wrinkles. Like the other one had a bunch of wrinkles, which I wasn't a fan of. But this, yeah, pretty good. So now one recommendation I will recommend for the 4th gen Dodge Ram, it's about 3 inches from the side, and you want to have this lip flush with the back right over here of the tailgate. So if that's flush, and then I think you end up with about maybe 1/4 of an inch right over here. Now if you want to open this thing up, there's these little cords, and if you pull down, it pops right up, and this thing rolls up pretty simple. Just roll this thing up all the way. Now you can do this one-handed, but you know, it's a lot easier just to have somebody else. And then it has these straps right over here that would go in. And then just pull it as need, which I'm just gonna go ahead and have this pulled. And this thing ain't going nowhere. Now, compared to some of the other ones that I've seen, they typically rest against right over here. And when I bought my truck, this was actually all worn out from the bar and the roll-up tonneau cover that had just worn all that in the paint. But this one's gonna stay right over here, and it's giving me a lot more room. And if I wanted to, yeah, I could probably, nah, that's where it needs to be, so never mind. But yeah, this is actually pretty perfect. Another suggestion I recommend is there's a cap right under here, and if you line this up with the cap, that's actually going to be perfect, so the tailgate will seal, and this just lines up nice and smooth. So overall, definitely happy with this product. Glad to have it. Definitely an upgrade compared to my other one. Gives me more access to my bed, and like I said, this thing is sturdy. So I'll post a link down to this tonneau cover and the website Yita Motor. You can check them out. They have it for Ford, Chevys, all types of different videos. So hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see what we come up with next.